The Blokebusters podcast is proud to be a member of the Pod Bros Network. You can find us, as well as other fantastic podcasts, such as Pencil and Ink Review, Another Damn Trivia Show, and Language of Bromance at podbros.com, as well as on most other fine podcasting services. Now sit back, relax, and prepare to share and enjoy the Blokebusters podcast.
Welcome to another episode of Film Spotlight, our little podcast spin-off thing that we're doing where we have one person on to tell us about a film that they love and a film that they maybe don't. And just in case you're wondering who the people you're currently listening to are, it's just me. I'm Paul. There's no one else here. That's it. It's just me. Oh yeah, someone else is here. Who else is here?
You're lying. Brian. This would be Brian.
That would be Brian right there. And our guest today is from Tinfoil Hat with Heather. That's right. We've got the tinfoil hat on, and there might be a bit of rustling now and then, but no, we've got Heather on. How are you doing, Heather?
I'm good.
Just wondering how I was going to play that, and I decided bad joke. Start with a bad joke, and the only way to go is up.
Wrong, right?
Alright, so obviously we have you here to talk about films, and we're going to start with the film that you like first, and before you tell us what it is, we typically have to try and have a guess of which genre it lands in.
Have we gotten one right yet?
I have claimed the moral victory several times, but no, we've never hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
So,
right.
Brian, why don't you go first, and you pick a genre for this one?
Okay, let's go. All right, genre. I am going to go with sci-fi fantasy. Let's go with that.
You bastard!
I'm kind of muddling too. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to paint a broad brush there, and
I know.
get a scatter shot, but
I was going to pick that one as well. So damn it, I should have gone first. All right.
All right.
In that case, I will go with the probably even broader stroke of just comedy. So hopefully we've cast a wide enough net there that we might have hit it. So. Heather, are either of us anywhere near?
Oh, definitry.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
very, very hot.
All right, I let's just say we won that one, and we actually did get it. So why don't you tell us what film it is?
Why don't you just tell me the name of the movie?
Oh, you want me to tell you the name of the movie? You don't want me to describe it and guess?
You want to keep us at
here? Okay. Well, you can if you want. I mean, it basically is up to you. You can either tell us flat out, or you can start describing it, and we'll try and guess it.
Okay, well, it came out in 1996. It's one of my favorite movies. The director is very eccentric. We all love his take on a classic redone, his version of movies, and his own wacky style that he comes up with. There's a actor who very famous who actually plays more than one character in the movie.
Ooh, more than one character.
I think I got it.
When did Mars Attacks come out?
I was going to say, I think it's Mars Attacks.
That's my favorite movie.
It is.
Got it.
Yeah. Good old Jack Nicholson, eh? Alright, well, obviously, myself and Brian have seen this film, so...
don't speak so soon, Paul.
Well, okay.
I have never seen all of it.
You've never seen the whole thing?
Nope. I fell asleep like once, and I've never revisited it, and I'm a horrible person. I'm sorry. Continue.
Okay.
How can you fall asleep? You must have been dog tired.
No, yeah, it was not in relation to the content. Yes, but it does, leave a little, stigma on my mind. It could be, the greatest movie of all time. If I fall asleep, then I'm like, oh. And I have trouble retrying it. But, I've seen a vast majority of it.
All right. Well, in that
But
case...
please, this is not me. Talking. Yes.
Well,
yes.
Well, normally then, at this point, what we do is we have the guest attempt to sell us on the film, and apparently you need to sell Brian on a rewatch of the film, so
why sell me coffee first, and then sell me on the rewatch.
Yeah, why is it that people should be watching Mars Attacks?
Well, if you're into science fiction at all, this is really a great comedy that spoofs all of the great science fiction movies. There's so many little inside jokes that if you are a sci-fi fan, you're going to get. There's great actors in it. And, if you are not a big fan of Sex and the City, what they do to Sarah Jessica Parker at the end is like the ultimate hilarious revenge.
Yes, I will definitely say I enjoyed what happened to her character. That was fun. And
yeah, I'm in the dark here. Sorry.
Well, I guess in that case, I was going to say, I suppose we won't be going into spoilers here.
No, you're fine. Like, I don't really. I mean, does it really matter for a comedy?
I suppose not. And I think the funniest thing about the film is how they end up dealing with the aliens. I think that's you could probably spend a day coming up with ways that they could defeat the aliens, and you wouldn't get it. You just wouldn't.
They don't destroy them with water, right?
They don't,
because that would just be stupid.
Yes,
well, they would be ripping off a Wizard of Oz.
Yes, and I will say that it's probably stupider. So
okay,
so there you go.
Even more stupiderist. All right,
even more stupider. Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking through the cast now, and it's amazing. It's like a towering inferno cast list.
Yeah,
of the mid '90s.
I ended up rewatching it relatively recently because I went on the Soiled Western Cinema podcast because they covered it, and yeah, it's got so many people in it that you're like, oh, they were in it. You got Jack Black, you got Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, exactly. You took, you know me, yeah. Pam Grier, come on.
Yeah. Pierce Brosnan as almost making fun of any role he's ever done, just a stuffy guy in a suit.
Well, it also makes fun of news reporters because Sarah Jessica Parker and Pierce Brosnan are news reporters, and I think that he's used to being like the anchor man, and just like the egos and how fake people-ish they are.
Oh, no, it's Michael J. Fox is the news reporter. Pierce Brosnan is the chief scientist guy who, in every B movie, he's always the one in the brightest white lab coat. It's like, my God, we've got to deal with this. But yeah, it's it's very campy. I think you do need to be in sort of the right frame of mind to watch it because
definitely.
If you go into it expecting a serious film, you're probably just going to turn off.
I wouldn't meet the person that's going into Mars Attacks expecting a serious film, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I get Martin Short is in it. How serious is it going to get? But yeah, who else? Danny DeVito is in it for no random reason. It's almost as if they were like he must have been on the film set next door. And they were just like, can we just get you in this for a couple of scenes? How about that? It's just so random, all of the people that they got in it. And it's clear that all of them were in on it. So it's definitely a lot of fun to watch.
It's amazing they got Rod Steiger, who is like an iconic film actor from On the Waterfront, like Dr. Zhivago, that he's in, and then also Mars Attacks. Yeah, it is pretty amazing. Yeah. So we should probably toss it back to Heather here, and because we are manipulating.
Yeah.
Well, I liked that Tom Jones played himself.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That was funny, and the woman I didn't know until after I watched the movie. On the cover is this alien disguised as a human woman, and the actress who played that person was in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and she has a very
Missy
distinct
Pyle.
jawline. Yeah, she's creepy. She scares the hell out of me.
Well, wait until there's a film that's going to be coming out on, I guess it'll be VOD and stuff like that, probably the middle of next year, and it's called Director's Cut. Wait until you see that, because it's
oh god,
it's gonna be cool. And yeah, she's, from what I've seen of the making of that, it's something that you're probably going to enjoy. But yeah, when it comes to Mars Attacks, then, like, what about the film speaks to you? Like, why did you pick it, essentially?
It's, well, first of all, science fiction. I mean, I grew up watching Star Trek, and so Star Trek has its cheesy moments, and so it's that kind of science fiction that I actually love. I like also how there are like references to like the 1950s, and I think that as a culture we've kind of have romanticized that decade, and it just incorporated all these things that spoke to me that I'm a fan of, that I love. The cast is just great, and some of them took their roles very seriously, and some of them are very cheesy, and it just it's science fiction, but at the root of it, it's comedy too.
So I will fully admit, just so we're up right here, like, yes, I said I watched like the vast majority, but I do not recall much, if anything, about it. Do you think it was consistent as far as tone? Do you think that, like, they hit that perfectly?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Like, all right, that's great. Yeah.
It was very well put together.
Mm-hmm.
It's another one of those films that it basically, there's not a huge amount of stuff in it that is superfluous. There's like every single scene is either adding to the campness of the whole thing, or the plot, or is actually funny enough that they kept it in. Like, there's no real falling flat on its face moments, which is very difficult to do when you're parodying and doing an homage to B science fiction films.
I think also too, when you have a lot of top billing actors, that you have egos that kind of clash, and you kind of sense tension on the screen. Like Hook with Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman. There was some tension, and things weren't quite smooth. Then you had Julia Roberts in there too, and then you hear later things were difficult on set. I don't think this movie was like that at all.
Yeah, it looks like everyone just wanted to do something fun, like it was a vacation,
Yeah, I feel like this was almost like the Deadpool of its time. It was like everyone knew exactly what was happening, so they were just going for it.
They made $101 million in the box office.
Yeah,
and how much did it cost?
I'll say the budget,
$70 million.
Yeah. So it was not necessarily a box office success, but I'm sure by this point it's done quite well on...
It's definitely a cult status, because I do quite a bit of trivia nights at bars and stuff, and it comes up a lot. And I would say most of what I know is from hearing trivia answered or answering it myself. Yeah.
Well, and if you're a comics person too, there's the comic, and it's Judge Dredd. There's a Mars Attacks version of that. It's been incorporated into the comic scene, and I think that it's it's a certain genre, but I think that many people who like different things can appreciate it.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I'll watch it Jack. I did watch it for Jack. You know, that's what, of course, initially pulled me in, just because Jack in a campy comedy. Yeah, why not? I would love to see this get like the MST treatment, you know, like the interruption style treatment, and treat it as a genuine like 1950s B movie. You know, I think that would be hilarious.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm sure that Tim Burton would see that as a badge of honor if they saw it as good, like good/bad enough to do that with. So yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite moment or scene from the film? Then, like something you always look forward to, or you're always quoting along with?
A shining light, if you will.
Sure.
I think the funny part is where the kid says he's making the international sign of the donut.
Yeah, it does kind of come out of nowhere.
I need some context here.
Yeah. Basically, I think it's the first video message that they receive from the aliens, and they basically hold out their hand, like with index finger straight, and they just go round in a circle. Well, of course, doing that ack as they're doing it, and the kid's watching on TV, and he just goes, "Yeah, it's a sign of the donut." And so, okay, sure. Why not?
Because the kid works in a donut shop.
Yeah. Let's see. And, the only reason he says it, it's never brought up again. It's just it's almost a line that's completely pointless, but they must have just found it funny when they were filming it, so they just left it in. Yeah, that's the thing. Explaining it doesn't really do it justice. It's just a one-off.
Well, it's a tough one to explain, just from, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say, I think probably my favorite bit in the film has got to be when the aliens finally kind of just drop the charade and just go on the attack, and they start going after the monuments, and it's one scene after another of them, like they're playing bowling with the Easter Island heads, or like they try and knock something over and it doesn't quite work, so they just blow it up instead. Like, it's just all of these little things, like, oh no, they're destroying all this stuff. And it's like completely unnecessary, because it's funny enough just to watch all the people just trying to fight the aliens and not doing a very good job of it. But so I just kind of like
alien guy gets a lot of joy, a lot of pleasure, not only destroying things, but just shooting the ray gun and killing people.
Yes,
you know, he's got almost like a maniacal laugh of his own every time he shoots the ray gun off.
Yes, he does. He is very happy to be firing that gun.
Well, the podcast is working because I'm getting inspired to try this again. And yeah.
Okay.
Because it's always seemed like something that is me. Like, oh, of course Brian would like Mars Attacks, and I just, I unfortunately had a not good experience where I started watching it when I already knew I was too tired, and so I'm ready to give it another try.
Yay!
Yeah, it's everything about it. It's like, why would I love this? Yeah.
Well, the last question we normally ask before moving on is, obviously there is no sequel, so like, do you feel like there should be a sequel, and if there was, what would it be? But I feel like you can't really answer that without somewhat spoiling the end of the film, so I don't think we should go there with this one. Probably just, and I think it should just kind of stand as it is myself.
You know what though, Paul? I would like, like the Rocky Horror movie where they would show it at midnight at theaters and people would dress up.
Yeah.
I would love to see
like
that with this movie.
And stuff. Yeah. Or quote-alongs. Yeah, quote-alongs.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, with Rocky Horror Picture Show, you had back to the time warp, and everybody did the line dance, so to speak. I don't know if you can necessarily do that with Mars Attacks, but
Wow. maybe. Again, not going into the end of the film, but there is something that could be very interesting at the end of that. So yeah, I can see that working actually. And that's kind of with Brian's trying to get them to do the Mystery Science Theatre with it. I think it would be a very fun film for a late night drive-in or.
I think it's great for festival material. Just throw it into a festival mix, and us nerds will eat it up.
Yeah.
Well, this past Halloween, I did see a man who had the costume. He didn't have much time to put the rest of the costume on, but he had the head, he had the rubber gloves, he had the rubber boots on, and I asked if I could take his picture. So on my Facebook page, HT Miles, I actually have the head as my profile picture because he did such an awesome job making it. I was screaming and just was so impressed and gushing over this poor married man because of his costume.
That's awesome. Yeah, I need to see that.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up a little bit later.
Oh, I feel like it's time to go to the dark side here, Paul. You think we're ready?
I think we're going to have to.
Yes, always the best bit. I like hearing about what people love, but this is where we have some fun.
Yeah, it can definitely be more fun than this side. So,
especially when it turns out it's a film I love, like There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, well,
that got interesting. Yeah.
When I did it with B-Rob, and it was a film he was disappointed in, and it turned out to be Joe's Apartment. It was like, I really like that film, actually. So
this is awkward.
I have to say, this next film, I absolutely hate.
All right, so,
okay.
Well, this could be fun then. So, rather
it's
than
The Martian.
Yes,
call back to something before we were recording.
Yeah, to something that I'm not going to bother putting into the finish.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, we could sit here and try and guess the genre, but it's just not worth it. There's so many bad films and so many genres, and it's generally a lot more fun just to dive right into it. So, what is this film that you do not like at all?
Well, this film is actually considered a drama and a comedy drama. It came out in 2002. But really, I think it's the genre that I don't like. It's like a day in the life of. And it starts in the middle of something, and the end is just so flat. It doesn't tie it all up in a neat little package. It didn't entertain or rivet me. Like when you walk out of the theater and you've just got this great glowy feeling about yourself because you've been entertained and you've seen an awesome movie. This has, I want a beginning, I want a climax, and I want an ending. And this didn't give it to me.
Okay.
About Schmidt. It's a Jack Nicholson movie.
Schmidt. Oh.
This is
Kathy
one
Bates
I
is
have
in
not
it.
seen.
Oh, she's in it.
Yeah, and that's about that scene and the bathroom scene is probably the only two great scenes in this whole movie, for my opinion.
Dear
Do you remember?
Ndugu.
Do you remember the bathroom scene?
Oh, I remember. Yeah, he just pisses all over the floor. Yeah, it's great.
He lets it go because his wife used to make him sit down to pee.
Hey, as another man, there's nothing like a good morning sit-down wee. I'm just putting that out there. So, little something you know now about me.
Well, the way they describe
Jack had a different idea.
Well, the way they describe the movie, they say upon retirement, he embarks on a journey to his estranged daughter's wedding. When actually, basically, he loses his wife. His wife dies. So he's going through anger and denial and grieving. And in the beginning, he adopts the commercials you see where you can adopt a child or
The
save
Sally
a village.
Struthers commercials, yeah.
53 cents a day, a cup of coffee. Okay, so he adopts this child, and he's writing this child a letter. And I feel so sorry for that child. That child is going to need psychological help and never want to come to America because they're going to think that they're all kooks and crazies.
Mm-hmm.
Here's this little boy in a village who doesn't have the mind frame or any references to understand what this man is going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't even think I've seen a trailer for this film.
What?
Yeah.
I saw this in the theater with a longtime friend, and I have the DVD in a bin somewhere. Yeah. So you've never seen, you really know nothing about it, Paul, other than what you've just heard?
I know next to nothing about it other than Jack Nicholson was in it. So.
Should we warn him about the Kathy Bates scene?
No, I think we should let that as a surprise.
Okay.
That's just me as a podcast partner. I want to give that gift to Paul.
All right. Well, apparently there's a scene with Kathy Bates. Okay.
And then you'll want to gouge your eyes out afterwards.
No, she just hobbles him. She just puts a board between his feet. It's just that same old shtick.
That's a different movie with James Caan.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting them all screwed up here.
Yes, and that one I have seen, so there we go.
Is that what you seriously think happens?
No.
No.
Oh, because I was going to say, wait, no, this is the hot tub scene.
I know, yes. It was a classic misdirect.
Yes, and now I'm getting more information. That's a hot tub.
I got scared, Brian.
Yes, I am. No, I was operating under the assumption that you would. I was
familiar with both.
Works.
I'm familiar with both of them.
Yeah. yeah. So I was just trying to mislead Paul. But now a little bit of cat out of the bag with the hot tub. So.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't know. Now I just know. Maybe I'll just shut my eyes if I ever watch it, and a hot tub appears on screen. I don't know.
Once we're to this point now. Just close your eyes once you see Jack in the hot tub.
Okay.
That's enough. That's enough. You're good. I'm not body shaming. It's just too much.
But he had a suit on.
He did. Oh yeah. He did indeed.
I love that this podcast is just we're just focusing around this scene that one of us has no idea what happens in it, and the other two are trying to not say what happens in it. So,
I think we're painting you a pretty graphic picture.
Yeah.
We're starting to.
So, okay, what about this film, other than the hot tub scene, makes it and the pee scene, which now I'm talking about a French avant-garde film, I think. Like, what about this film makes it that bad?
I think really it's the genre, because there's a movie also called The Weatherman with Nicolas Cage that
I've seen that.
Although it was a good enough movie, it fell flat as far as it's just like a day in the life. You follow this person around in their life, and it's boring. These people are boring. They have no life, and so I really don't feel for the character. I don't connect with the character. There's no beginning. There's no climax. I'm sorry. I need a climax. This sounds really awful.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I was going to say something at the beginning, but I decided nope.
No one loves to be left hanging.
And then at the end, it falls so flat. It's like, okay, well, that was a waste of my time. Sometimes, people are telling you a story and you're anticipating the ending and you're like, yeah, go on, go on, go on. This didn't have not even a great ending. It didn't have an ending at all. It just ended. And you're like, and I'm sitting there like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. And
thank you, Brian.
You should, check out you're welcome. Okay, if you're not on the chat screen of our Skype call.
Yes, I see it there.
Yeah.
Do they go any further than that, or is it?
Well, I still left a little bit that you could enjoy. So yeah,
Okay.
enjoy or not enjoy as your taste dictate. Now see, I guess I'm a little fuzzy on the ending because I do remember initially liking this movie. I thought it was like somewhat touching. I really enjoyed the correspondence between to Ndugu. But yeah, I guess it was. I mean, looking back, I don't know. Maybe I need to revisit it. Just a tad lackluster, and wanting more. I guess is the feeling.
I think as a movie, it it's flat. It's like, okay, this guy has his temper tantrum, and then you see him at the desk writing a letter, and I'm just like, that poor child.
Yeah, why do you have to get him? Yeah.
I feel bad for the kid who's gonna get this crazy letter, and you don't even see that character really. I mean,
no, yeah, I don't think you ever do you? Do you?
I have an image of a little boy running, in the dirt, but
yeah, it's probably been over 10 years since I've seen it, but yeah.
So I'm feeling bad for a character who has no online or no screen time, no dialogue, no nothing. I feel bad for him. I mean, this guy has a fit over the potato chips and just can't open and close a bag of potato chips, and he has a fit about the cups for the coffee. He's a miserable old man.
Well, no, so he's, I guess, sending money to this kid that you don't see. Like, do we know that it's not a scam? That maybe that's
it's not like a Nigerian prince situation. Yeah, no, it's you're left to believe it is real. Or it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and he rents an RV and he drives because he refuses to fly, and he drives cross country, and nothing really thrilling happens to him. And he meets up with his daughter and the future son-in-law and his family, and
that was all awkward.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I guess you're wanting more of a catharsis or a revelation,
Yes. When I go to the movies, I truly want to be entertained, and maybe it's selfish of me that I want it all wrapped up in a little package. I mean, sure, I do appreciate a movie that leaves you questioning, and there's going to be a sequel. But again, there's in good storytelling, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You have you have tension, you have conflict.
So, is that to say you're not a fan of any ambiguous endings?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Like Inception comes to mind, or Color of Money, if you want to go a little further back, when Fast Eddie and Vince play their last game, and you don't know who wins. Spoiler. But like I kind of like that I get to decide the ending of a film that in those sorts of situations. Like, it's up to my interpretation.
I just think About Schmidt was shitty.
About shitty?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna fault you there.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, there are some, like, Arrival with Amy Adams. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it yet. No, I haven't gotten into it.
All right. Well, I won't
recommend.
Say...
Don't. Just how about a softer heart? Yeah.
I would not recommend seeing it on the big screen. I think it's kind of a waste of money.
Wait. Okay. You can wait for VOD. Yeah.
Yeah, there's only 2 scenes, and they're very short, that look good on the big screen.
Yeah, I wasn't drawn to go out like and hurry up and see it. So yeah, Paul, you haven't gotten it. Yeah, I mean, you haven't been able to leave the house. Have you?
No, yes, I'm actually trying to remember the last film that I went to see in the cinema. And,
Suicide Squad.
That's not far off, actually.
That's not far.
Yeah,
All right, I'm closer than I thought.
I'll say
Well, how old is the baby?
she just turned 3
7.
months old.
Okay.
Yeah, it basically, it's not necessarily like, a house band or anything like that, but
No.
yeah,
You have responsibilities. That's cool. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I admit that, once I had my baby, I didn't really want to leave the house. You don't want anyone to touch your baby. You worry about germs. You just, you just want just that time to yourself.
I'm assuming that's the reason why I haven't been invited over. I'm not allowed to hold the baby.
Oh, yeah. You can come over anytime you want. You have just shown no desire to come over.
Jamie will let me hold Ellery.
Yes, I imagine she will.
All right, excellent. All right, breathalyzer first.
I was going to say,
not hers, but
you haven't
No, you just have to
really-
wash your hands first.
okay.
Yeah, you just haven't really shown any interest in coming over until I told you about the 4K TV, in which case...
Oh, well, hey, I'm always interested in coming over.
Hey, well,
That's just a little bonus.
yeah.
Yeah. We'll watch Pacific Rim with your daughter, and yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah, exactly. Get up and dancing during the theme tune and all that. Yeah.
She'll love giant monsters and giant robots battling, right?
Yep. I imagine so.
Yep. It's a lot of pretty noises and colors, and yeah.
Yeah, well, hey,
Then watch Iron Giant.
I'll say she.
And don't
Oh,
cry.
yes.
Yeah, she watched.
Nope, I'm not going to be able to do that. I can't hold that part of the bargain. I hate. Can I tell you how much I hate that a movie that contains Vin Diesel makes me cry?
Well, hey, it's
I cannot
Groot
get
before
over
he
that
was
fact.
Groot.
And also, wait, 2 movies, Fast and Furious 7 or whatever. Yeah, god damn it, 2 of them.
Whatever number they're on now, right?
Yeah, well, the Paul Walker montage. I mean, how do you get through that without? Yeah, that was rough.
I haven't watched any of those because they don't appeal to me. But I did go out to the theater and watch The Last Witch Hunter with Vin Diesel, and I have to say I was impressed by him.
Mm.
Yeah, Vin Diesel is
He's back in
actually
Triple
good.
X.
Yes, he is.
He's actually what?
He's actually a good actor. It's just that for whatever reason, everyone just assumes he's not.
Well, he's been Jason Statham'd to some point, you know?
Yes, very true.
Like, Jason Statham was brilliant in Snatch, and now he's just this generic action hero. Yeah.
Although,
Because if you watch, what is it, Saving Private Ryan, he's amazing in that. Vin Diesel, of course, not Jason Statham.
yeah,
Yeah,
Again,
things don't go well for him, but
again, another one I haven't
What's
seen,
that?
but I am aware of his fate in
Paul?
that one.
Paul, how did we start doing a podcast together?
Because we haven't been reviewing Saving Private Ryan or Blade
Well,
Runner, that's
we need
how.
to start. All right, well, we know our next episodes.
Yeah.
I think that when it comes to action heroes, you're so used to Arnold Schwarzenegger and how he got started, or Sylvester Stallone, and there wasn't that great riveting dialogue. So when it comes to an action movie, you don't expect much from the main character.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're not looking for development, really. It's essentially a stagnant character.
It's almost like a porn. You know, I don't expect too much of a plot.
Just get the pizza there and let's get. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much following through with the fixing of the sink and the receipt afterwards. There's not a lot of that. But I will say that I will defend Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, from kind of what you were saying, as in, like, say, Last Action Hero is probably what I want from an action film, which is, like, he's an action star, but he's also doing some, like, good acting in it as well. So he's slightly less of the Jason Statham problem there.
We've gone down this road before.
Yes, we have.
Last Action Hero. I am not a fan.
I know. But Charles
That
Dance
whole,
is in
come
it.
on, the kid and the relationship with like the theater, whatever his name was, the theater runner. That was so weird. Like, go to school, kid. Why is he hanging out with his old man all day? No, don't like it.
Well, yes, because Charles Dance, that's the bad guy.
Charles Dance, yes. Okay, point, Paul.
Yeah.
Touche with Tywin Lannister.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have kind of gone off the rails a little bit here.
But this is where it gets good. I like
yes,
this.
It is.
I don't know how Heather feels. Yeah.
I just like talking about movies, so...
Me too.
Yeah.
I love the tangents because you never know where it'll bring you. So.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd end up talking about Vin Diesel and Last Action Hero when you started talking about Schmidt. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's draw the connections from it.
We'll go back. We'll tie it back in.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to hear it. Let's loop it back together here.
I'm just interested in, when I'm editing this, in actually following this strand now, because I genuinely don't know how we got to this point.
I don't know either.
And with the Arnold Schwarzenegger, is anyone looking forward to him as the new Celebrity Apprentice boss?
No.
I honestly have to say that reality TV is not really a genre that I appreciate, and I don't really watch any. And I'm doing air quotes to myself here, with everybody, air quotes of reality TV, because it is scripted to a certain point, and it just doesn't appeal to me. I just, I think it's stupid.
That's about reality TV is again or documentaries, like television documentaries. That's what I call reality TV.
Yeah, the reality TV that I've been enjoying recently, it's about to leave Netflix. Two things are about to leave Netflix. Number one is the Great Food Truck Race. Well, the Great Food Truck Road Trip, something like that. That was fun to watch. Also, Iron Chef America, which I'd never seen before, so that was fun to watch. And
I do admit I've watched a couple of episodes of Iron Chef.
Yeah, well, you have tomorrow to watch 25 episodes on Netflix before it leaves. And then on Hulu, season 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of RuPaul's Drag Race, which is actually a lot of fun. So I've been...
I love RuPaul. I just can't sit through the overproduced reality TV. I can't do it.
I have to say,
I'm assuming that RuPaul's Drag Race is not about cars.
It is not. No, it is about drag queens. So.
That'd be a clever twist. I mean, if there was a car, if they got in dresses and did a quarter mile with Vin Diesel tying it back together.
Yeah, there you go. I do have to say, in the 5 seasons that are available on Hulu, not a single episode to do with cars. So, yes, they did miss a trick.
How disappointing. You should have let me believe there was one. There's one in there, but don't tell me. So I'd have to watch the whole thing.
Well, I
haven't...
haven't...
for that one episode.
I haven't... we've only just started watching RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, so there might be one in there.
Oh.
So not
okay.
Not to burst your bubble just yet.
There's still hope. All right. Well, I will be watching Westworld for the foreseeable future, so I don't know what you people are doing.
Yes, me and myself and Ellery were having fun watching that as well. So there you go.
Heather? Are you on board up there?
No, I don't have Netflix. I know.
HBO.
No,
or HBO?
No, I'm cheap.
No?
I won't pay.
Oh
for
no,
it.
you're fine. Okay. Like I'm almost willing to give out my password to you so you can watch it.
Oh, okay. I do like the TV show Lucifer. I do like the TV show Timeless.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some that I watch, but for the majority, like when it comes to my podcast show, I just review the movies. I don't get into the TV because it's so much of an investment, a whole series.
It is, yeah. Streaming has made binging possible though, but if you have a busy life, then that's not always an option for you. But
yeah, my parents have actually been watching Westworld because, as it turns out, in England, they have the equivalent of cable over there, and HBO sold the rights to Westworld to the cable channel, which is called Sky Atlantic. So if you have cable, you have Sky Atlantic. You don't pay any extra for that. So they've been watching it, and which is it is kind of interesting because there was one thing I didn't really realize growing up, because when my family got cable, as it's called over here, and we were finally watching all these shows, I would just watch them. And on Sky One, there was The Simpsons, there was Dead Like Me, all of these shows. And then, really, upon moving over here, it's like, oh, it was a whole bunch of different networks over here.
Yeah,
and then they all just sold the rights.
That surprised me when I went over to London. Yeah, that like there was a Fox show, then followed by an NBC show, and then an ABC show.
Brian, you went over to London and you had time to watch TV?
Yeah, in the hotel at night,
I was going and slipping off for a pint.
Well, I was with my friend of mine who does not drink. So
you can.
Yes, I would go down to the
in
hotel bar, and I got pissed with a very entertaining Irishman at the hotel bar quite a few evenings. So
that must have been some interesting conversation.
We couldn't understand each other sober, so drunk, you just imagine.
Yeah, what was the...
I resembled that remark.
What do you resemble that?
My family is from Sligo and Cork County in Ireland.
Okay. I mean, this gentleman had a very, very thick Irish brogue, and I mean, no, we got along fantastically. I'm a football fan, so the real football.
Yep. Not hand egg.
No, not hand egg. Kick the ball. So we got to talk about that. So yeah, we kind of connected over that. But yes, my companion was not a drinker. So
yeah, what's the Robin Williams joke in one of his stand-up where he just says, "If you ever want a linguistic adventure, go drinking with a Scotsman, because you can't fucking understand them before." So.
If you think that's bad, try traveling with people from New Jersey in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Oh no.
And picking that up.
Please tell me they went somewhere else for a Coke. Because
no, I came home and my father said, "What's the matter with you? Why are you talking funny? You sound like Scotty from Star Trek."
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if a lot of people are aware from outside of the UK, but Scotland is the only country in the world where Coca-Cola is not the number one sold drink.
What is?
It is Iron Brew. Yep.
And that does not answer my question.
Exactly. No, it is a drink which I actually quite enjoy, but I don't know if it exists outside of the UK, because...
is this an alcoholic beverage?
It is not. No, it is a fizzy drink, as I would call it. It is just a carbonated soda. And,
okay. I'm looking at pictures now.
So what's Paul? What is it similar to? Is it similar to Dr. Pepper or a Sprite, or ginger ale?
No, I could not tell you. It is very unique. I would say, like, it's definitely got a sort of an orange flavor to it, but it's so difficult to describe, especially since I don't believe that Lucasade exists over here. Because I would kind of say it's Lucasade-like, but still quite different. And I'm sure people in the country would not like me to say that. And that is not it.
That is not it?
That is not it, no. Hang on.
So it's not like a man ate haggis and urinated in a bottle, then?
No, hang
is
on.
Is it Brew, B-R-U?
It is. It is I-R-N and then B-R-U.
Oh, now I got it. I'm on it.
Yeah.
Paul, I'm on it.
And yeah,
it's... I can get this image of shape, but yeah.
It is just... I cannot describe the taste of it. I genuinely cannot. It is.
You really can't think of like a combination of. Okay, so there's the correct image, Heather, of the
okay,
real
I see.
Iron Brew. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I don't recall seeing it over there.
And it is bright orange. It's,
Original and best. Are both of those statements true?
I would probably say yes. It's definitely original, and it is the best Iron Brew. So yes.
Okay. Oh man. Yeah.
Well, the first picture says South Africa.
So I want to try their Iron Brew. I want to have an Iron Brew taste off here. See who's better.
Well, I find it interesting because I don't know if I've ever seen it anywhere over here. I'm sure somewhere someone has brought Iron Brew to the Americas.
Is it sold in England?
It is, yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh well, next time you go, you got to bring a couple cans over back.
I will see if I can.
I'll give you. Yeah.
It's gonna
buy me
explode
like
all over
10
his
pounds
luggage.
worth.
And-
One can only hope.
And yet there was an advert which apparently caused a lot of controversy, and I genuinely don't know why, but it's a nurse or a midwife or something like that. So, someone's pregnant and they're trying to get the baby out, and so what they do is they open up an Iron Brew, and that causes the baby to come out and reach for it, like. And it was
The
like
Doritos commercials.
kind of, I suppose, but like it for some reason, like so many people were upset by it. Whereas over here, I think everyone would have been fine with it, but like over there, it's like, oh no, that's wrong. No, can't do that. It's like okay. Some people can't separate fiction from reality.
Are you really positing that Americans would have been less offended?
I genuinely do. I think that enough people. I think it's probably a percentage thing. I think that even though some people would have been offended, like 99% of people wouldn't have been offended, and that's such a large number of people that it wouldn't have been as big an issue as it was in the UK when that aired. Because you only need to get, say, like 300 people writing a letter, and then there has to be a response. There has to be some sort of apology or something like that, I'd say. Could you imagine that over here? 300 people getting upset about something, and there has to be,
Then they probably would just get coupons in the mail from customer service for the product. I mean, it's basically what they do when you write a letter. So, Paul, you've obviously lived there. You've obviously lived here, and I have a friend who's also lives in London, but was living in Phoenix, Arizona for a little bit. So he explained fizzy drinks to me, but says that they're definitely different than like our sodas or pops over here. Which do you prefer?
I would say that for the most part, I prefer the way they're made in England, and that might just be because for 24 years I was raised drinking that. But like say for instance, the Diet Coke over here and the Diet Coke in the UK are different, because the Diet Coke in the UK contain one bottle of it. Say let's say a regular like what $1.60 bottle that you would get at the tills over here. The one bottle of that contains less than 1% of sodium, whereas over here it's about 3%. And the taste is just slightly different. I think it's smoother in the UK than it is here, if that makes any sense.
Yes, I can understand.
And then there's different things available. For instance, you can get over here. You can now get regular Coke with vanilla, but you can't get Diet Coke with vanilla, whereas you can get that in the UK. And it's incredibly annoying because that's my favourite version of it. So, and
did you have Diet Cherry Vanilla?
Probably.
I don't know if I've ever seen Diet Cherry.
I
you
did
can-
around the holidays.
You can definitely get Dr. Pepper with vanilla, and I think you can get cherry Coke, but I don't know if you get cherry vanilla. I don't know if that is a thing.
I will fully admit you guys have the edge on chocolates and
Yes,
Oh,
we
yes.
do.
general.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I will take UK's chocolates any day of the week over what we have here.
Well, last year they made an agreement, and there's less importing of chocolate from the UK around Easter time, especially.
Mm.
I was quite upset. I was trying to bribe my friend to mail me chocolate.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, my mother, when she came over after my daughter was born, she brought a pack of 17, basically £1 bars of milk chocolate for my wife, because she was a big fan of those. I think there's about 14 of those left, because she eats them very, very slowly.
It's apocalypse rationing.
Pretty much, yes.
Well, plus also if she's nursing, that goes directly to the baby.
Yes, and we don't want the baby to get used to that, and then nope, that's not what it is over here.
Nope. Oh, I'm getting haggard
What
for some
happened to the
Jaffa
chocolate
cakes.
milk?
And yes, Jaffa cakes are delicious. I do kind of miss
Jaffa
those.
cakes are amazing, and not that crap, not that imposter crap they sell in your Kroger and Giant Eagle. No, you need real Jaffa cakes, and they're amazing.
And of
They're
course,
so
My
spongy and chocolatey, and so.
and milk chocolate hobnobs as well.
Mhm.
And my friend wants me to buy a bunch of Hostess pies, especially the cherry and the lemon, and send them to him, along with the York peppermint patties and the paydays.
And this has been Confectionery Corner.
I love it. I think we got a new podcast here, Paul.
Yeah, maybe we just making people
Just
hungry.
taking different candy every week. Yeah, we got it.
Alright, we definitely need to wrap this up, unfortunately. So,
Aw.
So, yes, basically, so people need to see Mars Attacks. Definitely don't need to see about Schmidt, and
Well, unless you're a really big Kathy Bates fan, and I
yes,
mean
very true, and
Kathy Bates fan.
want to see
That's
more
not a
of
fat
her.
joke. I just want to say if you like Kathy Bates. All right, just putting that out there. Okay.
And then people should get English sweets and drinks. There we go. Got it.
Yes,
I think we've covered all that.
we're all good.
So, Heather, where can people find you?
Well, I'm on Facebook. I have the Tinfoil Hat with Heather page regarding our show that we've been on hiatus for a couple months. We'll be bringing back for the new year. You can find me under Heather Miles. You can find me under HT Miles. You can email me at tinfoilhatwithheather@gmail.com. And I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. I don't tweet too much, but I love Instagram.
All right then.
Fantastic.
Yes, and do go follow her on all those good things. And then if you want to find us, since you're listening to our podcast, and that might be a nice thing to do, you can find us at, and Brian, do you happen to have a timer going for this one?
Here, give me 1 second. You
Okay.
got this under 10 seconds. I know you can do it. I believe in you.
All right.
And on your mark,
Okay,
whenever you're ready.
Set, go. We're on Twitter at Blokebusters, facebook.com/Blokebusters. You can email us blokebusterpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram, Blokebusters, and we have a website, blokebusters.webs.com. How long was that?
9.67.
Yes!
You got it.
There we go. And
I believed in you.
yes, and
All right.
it happened. It was great. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
it's a magical moment for us all.
And
All right.
for anyone that didn't get that, just go back and play it at about half speed. You'll probably be fine.
Or look at the liner notes.
Yes.
Look
Or
at the show notes, yeah.
Yeah. Or you could just do what any sane person would do and just type Blokebusters into Google. And you'll find us.
Or Bing it if you're one of those weird bingers. Go ahead and Bing it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and if you are a Yahoo search engine user, bye-bye. We don't need you.
I was not aware 75-year-olds listen to us, but hello, hi, I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yes, I know. No, we actually do need you. Please don't go away. We love you, really.
Oh, and rate and review on iTunes, please.
Yes, for both of us, really. It's like iTunes or your subscriber thing of choice. Because the more reviews we get, even if it's just the stars and you can't be asked to type something out, that's fine. Just the more reviews we get, the more likely it is that someone else will happen across us. So, yeah, that's...
Amen.
So, I think that's...
Heather, it was so awesome talking to you. You are great. So happy
thank
you came
you.
on.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
No,
Finally, we were able to synchronize schedules and everybody's healthy.
Yes. It's been a little bit of a hectic last week or so. So thanks for allowing for the change there. And even this will come out well into the new year. But early Happy New Year to you as well.
Well, you tagged me so that I can share as well on my pages with my family and friends and hopefully fans. And already on Instagram, people are asking me, what is Blokebusters?
Ooh.
That's well.
Yeah, we don't know either.
It's been a long 4 and a bit years.
Oh man, I can't believe we've been doing this that long. All right.
I know. But yes, I mean, feel free to answer however you like to that question. I mean, you can. The more outlandish, the better, and then maybe we'll disappoint people, but keep them anyway with our witty repartee.
Absolutely, our dynamite chemistry.
Yes.
Well, a lot of girls are just suckers for the accent, Paul.
Hey, it's why I like him.
I know. It's how I managed to hook that guy.
I just wish I was English, which is the horrible truth. So I got Paul's as close as I can get. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an hour or so every couple of weeks where he can just pretend. Damn it.
Yes, and I only occasionally bring out my awful English accent. Just I don't want to spoil Paul with it. He gets too, he loves it so much.
Yes.
Is he maybe like Gomez, and he just starts kissing you and wanting more?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Sure. Let's run with that.
Hey, next time we'll talk about the Addams Family movies.
Oh, okay. Let's please do that.
And if we're talking about the Addams Family film, we have to talk about all 3 of them, because there was a 3rd one.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do.
If we did a Godfather podcast, we wouldn't be talking about number 3.
Yes, but we're not going to be doing a Godfather podcast.
Oh, I guess that's a point. All right.
As you well know, Brian, I'm not a fan.
Yes, I know. You haven't seen that either. Oh, yeah. Wait, you've seen it. You just don't like it.
I have seen some of both of 1 and 2, and yeah, the same thing as Rocky. I've seen some of it, and I turned it off.
No, I just want to know if the movies are made with real Addams Family members.
I think that's a sign.
Alright, well, that's definitely been it from us. I have no idea how long this is going to be in the final edit, but it'll be interesting to find out. So, after all of that, I've been Paul.
I've been Brian.
And...
she's been...
Heather.
Yeah.
Can I be someone else tomorrow?
If you want to be,
it's
sure.
Your life. Live it how you want.
Yeah, we may not be recording, but sure, go ahead. We'll see what happens. Alright, well... that's it from all of us.
Bye, folks.